The Grey Man does whatever a Grey Man can. Can he make a comic feed? Yes, he can. He just did. Watch now, a video from Grey Man. A video from Grey Man.
Well, hi there, kiddies. It's me, the Grey Man, once again, and I have another contest entry to go into. Yay! This is a contest of StrangeXblade. He's strange. StrangeXblade wants to know your favourite decade of comics. Ooh. And you've got to show 10 comics, presumably from that decade. I'm lazy. I've got boxes and boxes of comics and I don't want to have to go through them all to show them. So I'm going to show you pictures of comics. I do have them in my collection, but I can't be bummed to go up and get them. Sorry, I can't bother. It take me hours to sort that. But let me show you my 10 comics.
Okay, so I have to start off with the Blue Beetle. I love the Blue Beetle. He was awesome. This was the first comic that I bought from the #1 all the way to the end. I didn't even realise that comics had an end. I didn't realise it got cancelled in them days, and I was like flabbergasted when they cancelled the Blue Beetle and devastated. And then we've got Blue Devil. He was another cool comic from back in the 80s. He ran from 84 to 86. Good, interesting stories, good cool costume. They've made him a bit more devilish in modern continuity, gave him a bit more power, but yeah, he was a cool character. And then we've got Blue Beetle's friend Booster Gold. He was a cool, he had a very cool run as well, from 86 to 88, lasted about 2 years. And yeah, just good action comics, really good, interesting action comics. And he had a little different take, like he was from the future. He was a little bit on the selfish side. He wanted to try and become, rich, that kind of thing. Like Firestorm, who cannot love a character whose head is on fire? And he had an 8 blinking year run in the 80s, leading up to the 90s. And yeah, bloody good stuff. Awesome character, great costume, great look, great name. Great logo, look, Firestorm, the Fury of Firestorm, the Nuclear Man. That's just awesome. And then we've got Captain Atom. I said that wrong for a second. Captain Atom, he came over, same with Blue Beetle, came over from the old Charlton comics. And yeah, he had a really cool run as well. Great powers, great stories, very interesting. Right, one that people probably don't think about so much is Starman. He was pretty cool in the 80s. I've got the full run of that book, and that was always entertaining. Kind of disappeared, though. He never sort of... don't hear about it, the poor fella, anymore. But I thought he was quite a good character. And then there was a marvellous Teen Titans run. George Perez art. For 4 years it was running in the early 80s, and it's got some classic stories in it, Trigon and all that kind of thing. Brother Blood, the early appearances of the Deathstroke, the Terminator. What is not to love? Right, then this next one, I remember buying this from the corner shop around the corner from my house back in July 1984, and I just love that cover. It's Dave Gibbons' cover art. It's absolutely fantastic. So much going on there. You got the crowd in the foreground, being frightened by the demolition team who were attacking. Those were a team that I loved, even though they hardly ever got used again, I don't think, but I just loved the look of them. I loved Rosie the Riveter. She was like a big burly woman who was like, took no crap. And over the top you can see like the shadow of Green Lantern, but it's a really good story as well. And at the end, this character on the right, the Predator, he makes his debut, and he is kick-ass. If they'd made a proper comic of him, and he hadn't turned out how he did, they could have made masses of money with this guy. Look at him. He's got an axe, he's got a lasso, he's got a knife, he's got claws, he's got wings. The guy could glide, and a costume that is black as anything, but with that silver trim just sets it off to a T. Right, and then beginning of 1980, September, that'll be my 11th birthday. This was a Flash comic that I remember buying from the corner shop around the corner from my house. I love the old style covers with the fact that they have something going on the cover, something that makes you, just interested. And I just read that and I said, how can Mr. Element and Dr. Alchemy be in the same place at the same time when they're both the same person? And I was in the shop going, I've no idea. I need to buy this comic to find out. And so obviously I did do that. And then I've kind of cheated here for the last one. Brave and the Bold. I didn't actually buy these when they came out. The ones that I bought from the Brave and the Bold were from the late 70s. I got a couple from about 3 or 4 from 79 that I remember buying as a kid. But these ones I just picked up now. I've got my whole 100 to 200 run, and I just literally read the run on the right is run number 197, I believe, and it's such a great story. I just love that story. It had everything. It's a Batman from Earth 2 story, and they basically fall in love, and you know they end up. Oh, it was just really. It wasn't so much. It was a bit heart wrenching, but it was also just like warm. And just look at that cover. I never really bothered like in the day looking at who did covers. It didn't bother me. I just wanted to read the stories. You know, much as I liked the art, I didn't focus on who the artists were. But since I've buying them, collecting these as I'm older. These are Jim Aparo art, and his art is just magnificent when you look at it. That one on the left, this is why I've chosen two. I couldn't decide which one was the best. On the left, you've got Death holding scales of life and death or justice or something. You've got Nemesis and you've got Batman battling on the plates of the scale, and he's looming over them with a scythe. It's just a fantastic, just the way it's put together. I'm not sure the word is, I can't remember the word, but it's just the layout, I suppose you'd call it. And on the right, you've got cats, you've got bats, you've got the scarecrow looming over them, you've got their cloaks forming love hearts, while all around them they're being assailed by spiders and snakes and lightning and fear gas. Basically, they was being affected by fear gas, and Catwoman ends up having to save him. I won't tell you. Read it yourself. It's a really good. I really love that story. But anyway, that's it. That's my 10, 11 comics that I've chosen to show you from the 80s. I just remembered I've recorded this bit. Let's go back to my recording.
Okay, so that's my 10 comics for my entry to StrangeXblade's competition. I'll put a link up here for you to go and sub up StrangeXblade. Perhaps you'd want to talk about your favourite decade of comics. Perhaps you will. Think about it. Yes, go for it. Also, let's do a shout out to another channel. I don't have another channel set up. Oh no, what other channel can I get people to sub up to? Yeah, why not sub up Matilda Gothika? Yeah, Matilda Gothika. She's got lots of subs already, but she could always do with more. If you don't know Matilda Gothika, she does great artwork. Look at what she did for me recently. And she'll tell you about what comics she's picked up, and she does book stuff on there as well. So yeah, sub Matilda Gothika, sub StrangeXblade, sub me. And until next time, may all your news be good news.